Okay, if you're starting a company, your goal is to make money, right? Yes. But in order to do that, your company has to stand out from the competition. And one way to stand out is to have a logo that works. Today, I'm going to talk about 4 features of a good logo. First of all, people need to be able to recognize your logo. They should be able to see it from far away and instantly know what it is. They shouldn't have to read it. In a well-designed logo, you're using shapes and color to tell your story. Secondly, the logo needs to communicate something about your company. What's the idea that you want to highlight? Maybe you want the logo to suggest that your company is global, fast, friendly, old-fashioned. You decide. Next, the logo needs to be timeless. Don't use a style that's going to look old or outdated in a couple of years. Look for a style that will last. If the logo does include writing, make sure that people can read it, especially if the wording is unusual. Finally, you want to make sure your logo looks good in different sizes. Some logos have too many minor details. These can be hard to see when the logo is small, such as when it's printed on a business card. Also, make sure that it looks good in black and white. Some logos look good in color, but terrible in black and white. Okay, now I'm going to show you some examples of good logo designs. This shows how the logo for the Wendy's restaurant chain has changed over the years. The new image still suggests old-fashioned, but it's much better. It's simpler and cleaner with more white space. They've taken out the writing because the picture is enough. Now, here's a logo that you might know, the Twitter bird. This logo has had many changes, but the bird is the same. The mood is positive and friendly. The flying bird suggests movement and progress. The final example is the Nike swoosh. This is a great logo. The shape is very simple but unique and recognizable. It suggests speed, so it's perfect for a company that makes running shoes.
Today, as promised, I'm going to talk a little bit about how colors affect sales and marketing. You probably all have a favorite color. Mine is blue. I'm wearing it today. It makes me feel calm, powerful, and intelligent. It's a good color to wear when I give a lecture. Research tells us that people react to colors in different ways. For example, red gives us energy. Yellow is a happy color. Orange is playful and creative. Green makes us think of good health and nature. Think about which colors you purchase most often. 85% of customers say a product's color is the primary factor in their decision to buy it. Businesses use colors to help sell their products. Why? Well, according to recent studies, 93% of customers think that image, or the way something looks, is the most important aspect of a product. So choosing the right color for your brand name or your product can really increase your sales. Think of some of the brands you know. Starbucks uses green and white. The green might make us think of health or of being outside. Coca-Cola has used red letters for decades. The color fits very well with the product itself. It provides energy. Many companies use blue for the products and their advertising. Microsoft Windows computer software comes to my mind first. We trust the color blue. Car brands like Toyota and Mercedes-Benz use silver, a color that means money. If you think about it, most car companies use silver or black in their brands. They also use silver or gray cars in their television commercials. Because color carries a message, companies don't use too many colors at once. Of the top 100 brands in the world, 95% use only 1 or 2 colors. 4 colors are used the most often. The first is blue, used by 33% of the top brands. Second is red, used by 29%. And yellow is the fourth at 13%. Now, what do you think the third most popular color is? I've already listed the primary colors: blue, red, and yellow. How many people think it's green? Purple? Anyone? It's black or gray, used by 28% of brands. Black is the third most popular color. The next time you're watching TV, notice how many companies' names are one of these colors. Okay, so companies use color to tell us something about the company and product. Color affects us in other ways too. Everybody notices red. It makes us stop, just like a red traffic light. So when we're shopping in stores, we might stop at the color red and pay attention. That's why red is often used for sales. Colors affect different types of customers in different ways. Red and yellow attract customers who didn't plan to buy anything. They just came in to look around. People who want to save money like blue and green. Women usually like different colors from men. Also, colors sometimes mean something different in different countries. So companies have to do their research first. Companies have to think about two things: the product and the customer. They have to give the best image to their product and attract the right customers. But one thing is for certain: colors can really affect sales. Okay, it looks like we're ready to get started. You'll each be presenting short summaries of your books to the class today. So I think Irene is going to go first. She read Jules Verne's Around the World in 80 Days. Irene?
Okay, thanks. The book Around the World in 80 Days is an adventure story written by Jules Verne in the late 1800s. It is about Phileas Fogg and his assistant and their trip around the world. In the beginning of the book, Fogg is in London. One night, Fogg tells his friends that it is possible to travel around the world in 80 days. His friends disagree with him. They say they will give him £20,000, or around $2 million in today's money, if he can travel around the world in 80 days. So, Fogg and his assistant plan their trip around the world. Fogg and his assistant then leave London. They have a lot of problems during their trip, such as becoming separated from each other in unfamiliar countries and their transportation breaking down. But each time they figure out how to resolve the challenges they face, and they continue with their trip, never abandoning their goal. They travel through a lot of really interesting places around the world, such as London, Egypt, India, and Japan. In the end, after many difficulties, Fogg and his assistant arrive back in London, apparently too late to get the money. At least it appears that way at first. They think they arrived only a few minutes too late. However, Fogg realizes that it is actually a day earlier because of the time difference as they were crossing the world. As a result, Fogg's friends give him the money. Overall, I think this is a great adventure story that teaches the reader about different places around the world. In the historical context of the 1800s, traveling around the world was a very difficult thing to do. So I also think the book teaches the reader about effort and Fogg's attitude to never give up. Even though he faces many challenges, Fogg labors on toward his goal and succeeds in the end.
Thanks very much for joining us on the Business Roundtable. I'm David King, and I'll be facilitating today's discussion about franchises. Joining me are 3 franchise owners who have agreed to share their experiences. We have Paul, Jennifer, and Todd, and we hope that you, our viewers, may learn from their successes.
And our mistakes.
Right. There are many routes to success, aren't there? But as long as you get back up and try again, you haven't failed. What do you think about that, Paul?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you should never give up. Success is just around the corner. You just have to make it there.
Indeed. And I'm sure that's why our viewers are tuning in. They want to hear what you all have to say about this topic. Do you mind if we start with you, Paul?
Sure, no problem. I'm Paul Gallagher, and I own a restaurant franchise. 5 of them, actually. I was 32 when I first got interested in owning my own business. I was tired of working for someone else. I wanted to make my own hours. But I didn't have an adequate sum of money to build a brand new business. So I decided to open a restaurant franchise. It took a year to make a profit, and another year to become really successful. We became really popular after we added a few ethnic food items to the menu. So one lesson, I guess, would be to try something new and see if customers respond. Luckily, our customers did.
Thanks, Paul. Let's hear from someone else. Jennifer, what about you? Why did you open a franchise?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on your show. I run an automobile service franchise, and I got interested in owning a business because I thought I could make more money with a franchise than at my old job. As Paul said, it's a lot of work. I'm surprised I didn't collapse. During the first few years, I worked 14-hour days. I had to manage my shop, advertise, train new employees, and make connections with other local businesses. But the hard work was worth it because my 3 auto service shops are very successful.
Paul, Todd, what do you think about what Jennifer said? Is time the most important factor when deciding to open a franchise?
Well, I think so. No one's going to do it for you. You have to make your franchise your top priority. After your nuclear family, it gets all of your time. But money's also important. I invested a lot of my own money into my franchise. No one's really going to give you the money to start your business. There are a few grants available, but they aren't adequate. And I found that even those small grants were hard to get.
Would you like to comment on that, Todd? You received a large grant to open the franchise, right?
Thank you. Yes, I did receive a grant. I found out about it in a trade publication I was reading. A man started a waste disposal business in the city next to mine, and it became so successful, he wanted to branch out in the region. So he set up a grant. Basically, he would pay for the first year of operation for anyone willing to open up a branch of his business in a nearby city. I applied, and because of my business background, he selected me. I've been running my branch of his waste disposal company for 7 years now, and we started making a profit after 3 years. So there are grants out there. I'm proof. They are rare, though. As Paul said, most franchise owners have to invest their own money.
What have been the biggest challenges for each of you running a franchise?
For me, honestly, it was getting people to take me seriously. People weren't used to seeing someone young running an auto service shop. But over time, customers discovered that our mechanics were extremely knowledgeable and our prices were fair. Then they started to trust me with their cars. From that challenge, I've built a loyal customer base.
Thank you, Jen. How about you, Todd?
I would say the biggest challenge was running a business that someone else had created. I mean, the business owner had his own ideas on how this business should be run, and I had to follow certain guidelines, even if I disagreed with them. Eventually, though, we developed a good relationship. We started to trust each other more, and now things are fine. Having a good relationship with a business owner is very important.
And we'll give the last word to Paul. What are your thoughts? Your biggest challenge?
Well, Jennifer made an important point about her customers. Finding and keeping customers is key. Without customers, you have no business. You constantly have to survey what they like and don't like to adapt your model. Otherwise, your business will collapse.
We'll have to leave it there, folks. Thanks to Paul, Jennifer, and Todd for joining us today. We appreciate your insights on the Business Roundtable. Until next week, keep working and keep earning.